Good morning, everyone. We're here for the Bothell Municipal Court 9:30 calendar for Friday, the 7th of July. I'm Judge Mara Rosano. This calendar is being conducted on Zoom. Anyone watching, it's also being live streamed to YouTube. Anyone watching on YouTube who wishes to participate in a particular case needs to go to the Bothell Municipal Court website, click on the link to video court, and then click on the link to enter the virtual courtroom. Once there, let the administrator know which case it is you wish to be heard on, and that information will be conveyed to me. The official record of these proceedings will be made and maintained by the Bothell Municipal Court. Anyone making a recording without having obtained prior approval of the court may be subject to legal action, including but not limited to contempt proceedings. With that, I believe we are ready to proceed this morning. Good morning, counsel.
Morning, Your Honor. We're just waiting for Mr. Trumbull to pop out of the breakout room, but we do have a 9:30 matter that we can address, which is Ms. Dutton, cause number 3A0231222. This was set on to readdress conditions of release, specifically the SCRAM bracelet. Ms. Dutton has been wearing the SCRAM bracelet since her arraignment. I don't believe the court has received any violations to date. Ms. Dutton does want to address the court as to treatment. We've had some issues with Evergreen providing us with documentation. She indicates that she graduated from phase 1 of IOP last night. However, they did forward me a non-compliance treatment report indicating that she had not turned in her sober support meetings. She took a photo of that, sent it to me, which I did forward on to the court as well as to the city so that they could review that as well. Additionally, Ms. Dutton sent a letter from one of her medical providers. She does have an MRI appointment coming up that she would need. Obviously, they will not do that while the SCRAM bracelet is on. It's given the MRI itself. And so that is also a basis of the request. But I'll let Ms. Dutton make that representation with what sort of she's been dealing with at Evergreen.
Ms. Dutton?
Hello, Your Honor. I did forward part of what the progress report says. It says that I did not turn in my meeting slips, which I did. There's a lot of confusion at Evergreen Manor. They're having a problem with a shortage of counselors. I currently am working, and so unfortunately, I didn't even want to do it. I wanted to graduate with the people that I've been with this whole time, but I had to move to the night group due to my work schedule. And so they're saying that I was in non-compliance for showing up for a day group, but I'm really not in non-compliance because I went to the evening group that day. And I was switched to the evening group. So I switched to the evening group. I gave my progress reports, which I forwarded to my attorney, to the counselor. That's the evening counselor. Then I only saw her one day. And then after that, she was out sick. And I had a counselor that does the relapse awareness group that ran the two groups. And she's actually who I presented my my phase 1 packet to last night from graduating from IOP. So I move into relapse awareness next week. So if I was in non-compliance, I certainly wouldn't have graduated last night. I think there's just a lot of confusion going on. I have not missed a group. The only group that I did not attend, I had a doctor's letter that stated that there was no other way for me. I had to see the doctor that day. And so I got a letter indicating that. And so far through this whole thing, that's the only group I've missed. So I have been in total compliance. I'm working. I haven't had any problems at all with using, and they do UA me at treatment. And so they test me for all mind altering substances, not just alcohol. It's really important to me personally. I really don't want my grandfather to see this SCRAM on his 90th birthday. He doesn't need to be disturbed by my addiction and by my choices that have brought me here. I'd like him to see me happy, which I am. I'm doing really, really well. And I don't want to use anymore. I do have, unfortunately, I got in a car accident last year, and it appears that I may need neck surgery, which I am not excited about, but that is why I have to have the MRI, because the surgeon wants to make sure, it is what it is, and the x-ray is not clear enough. And he did indicate to me that I cannot have this on my body when they put me in the MRI machine. So, you know, I'm asking the courts, and I understand if I screw up at all, you know, please, you know, I'm willing to take the punishment for that, but I don't suspect that you're going to see that I do. I'm pretty committed to continuing to make my life better, because things have been so much better since all of this happened.
Ms. Greenwood.
Your Honor, thank you. I certainly appreciate that there haven't been any violations, and this device has been on since March. So I do appreciate that. I was kind of on the brink of whether or not the city would oppose or agree to this request. I would just note again, Your Honor, that Ms. Dutton has 2 DUIs in 7 years. She has prior DUI conviction, or has a prior conviction from 2015. There's another prior amendment previous to that. On 5/18, she was in front of the court with the same request. Pro Tem Lucan denied the request, but indicated that she could bring the motion again if there was a change of circumstances. So I was hoping to see a report from treatment today that she was in compliance. I understand that she's given us some explanations for why she's not in compliance. However, at this time, I think the city would oppose this until we can actually see something in writing indicating that she has in compliance and has maintained compliance. I do see that, you know, with the MRI coming up, that may be an issue to be addressed at that time. But at this point, I'd like to see some more documentation before the city would agree to the removal, rather than just basis on Ms. Dutton's representations. You know, she's indicated that she will take the consequences if anything should happen, but I think that that's not the concern so much. The concern is the safety of the community.
All right. Ms. Pimentel, when is the MRI scheduled?
You know, the document that we submitted to the court, I believe, is in the cloud. I want to say it was the 18th. Is that right, Ms. Dutton?
Yes, it is.
July. Just have to pull that back up.
I'm sorry. The only thing I saw was the. Oh, maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Your Honor, they're just under the date, not in the jail folder.
I saw the photocopy of the. All right, there it is. Okay.
Yes, I believe it's the 18th.
All right, the document from the doctor does not indicate, it just indicates how long she'll be there. All right. Give me just a moment, because there's multiple.
It's July, it looks like July 18th at 10 a.m.
Right. All right. Okay, there it is. All right. So Ms. Dutton, do you have anything to show that you graduated from IOP?
Your Honor, I have a coin, a rock little thing. It's not a piece of paper. But I don't know if you can see it. I just sent it when I was speaking to my attorney prior to this hearing, a copy of my progress report, which they're indicating I did not turn in. I did, and I saved a copy of it on purpose. I certainly can get something that I've graduated from IOP, but I'm not trying to delude the courts. I'm being very honest with you that I graduated last night, and I start relapse awareness on Tuesday morning.
Because my concern, and I'll address this to you as well, Ms. Pimentel, is that the document that I have from the treatment provider was dated yesterday, which is why I'm concerned that they're saying yesterday that she's not in compliance and she's saying yesterday she graduated. The conflicting information. And I do have a significant concern for the safety of the community. Ms. Dutton, I appreciate what you're saying, that you don't expect that you will be back before me. My concern is that if you do have a relapse, that it may be the lives of other individuals or your own that is involved. And that's the thing that I have to take into consideration. However,
may I ask you a question, Your Honor?
yes.
If in fact, I mean, obviously we would have to do it in another time, but if in fact I can get proof of me phasing into relapse awareness, and that in fact the report was incorrect and I am telling the truth, will you reconsider the bracelet?
I would take that into consideration, absolutely. And that's what I was actually about to say. If we have documentation showing that you have successfully completed IOP and that you are currently participating in relapse, I would be willing to consider and more likely to grant your request to have the bracelet removed. What I will say also, though, is I do not wish for the bracelet to interfere with your medical treatment. So regardless, I would allow for a temporary removal on the 18th so that you could have that MRI done. Okay. So that is the ruling of the court. Ms. Pimentel, I don't know if you want to do a temporary removal order for the 18th, or if you want to wait and see if you're able to get the documentation beforehand and bring it back before the court.
Yes, if Ms. Sutton's able to get that documentation, we can try and renote this for one of the Zoom calendars next week, since we don't have any trials going.
Very good. All right, so we'll Ms. Dutton, it's a little bit in your court to get that report to me, but at this point in time, without it, it's the information I have is just too contradictory. Oops, your microphone got muted.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I understand.
All right, take care.
Your Honor, Mr. Schumbold is still in the breakout room. We do